Good day, YouTube. This is a comparison video between Elementary OS on the left and Ubuntu 20.10 on the right, so grab your stein of coffee and let's get started. Okay, so starting off, we've got Elementary OS on the left and Ubuntu 20.10 on the right. So if we're to get into this one, first of all, they are both based on, well, let's put it this way. So really both Ubuntu-based distributions. Ubuntu itself is based on Debian, and Elementary is based on Ubuntu, which is in turn based on Debian there, the long-term service release as well. But if we have a look at both of these, so first of all, we have the version 5.x for Elementary, 20.10 for Ubuntu. That's all good. They are both point releases, so every 6 months or so you get the updated version, not a rolling release, very important to specify there. Next up, we come down to the desktop environments, which are a little bit different. So they are both actual in-house or homegrown desktop environments. So the Elementary OS crew have built this Pantheon desktop environment, whereas the Ubuntu crew have built this in-house GNOME variant. In fact, they're both based on GNOME, the GTK3 toolkit there, to make what they've made, but they are still quite different there. We've got a bit of a Mac OS feel and look to the Elementary OS desktop environment, whereas we've got maybe a bit more of a, let's call it a Windows-esque version on the Ubuntu sides of things there. Moving on, they've both got their file managers, both based on GNOME as well, but they do look a bit different. One is called Gala for the Elementary OS side, and this one is what we call the GNOME files. So yeah, basic stuff there, all works, does what it needs to do. Next up is the kernel. So this is where things will start to separate a bit, because even though this is based on Ubuntu, Elementary OS here, it is based on the long-term service release, so the older one there, which means it's actually running on the 5.4 kernel, whereas Ubuntu 20.10, the very latest available release, is running on a newer kernel, about 4 notches up, let's say, at the 5.8 kernel there. Moving on, let's have a bit of a look at the resource utilizations. So the CPUs all fairly nice and idle there. On the left-hand side, we've got about 620 megabytes of RAM on boot up. Nothing else booted loaded in the background there. And on the Ubuntu side, we have about 730 megabytes of RAM, which is good. It's been optimized. Ubuntu used to use about a gigabyte of RAM a few years ago, even when it was an older, smaller distribution. So very nicely optimized there. They are about 100 megabits in RAM apart. To be honest, Ubuntu is my daily driver, but I do enjoy a bit of Elementary OS there as well. So that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for watching. Please leave a comment, subscribe, hit that like button, and I do hope to see you guys there in the next one.